Could the return of Malik Beasley to the Lakers be the game-changer nobody saw coming, or just another mirage in a season swirling with hope and doubt? Imagine this, a young, hungry Lakers squad, bolstered by a sharpshooter whose very name once stirred controversy, but whose talent on the perimeter could redefine the franchise's trajectory. You see, after months of uncertainty following those shocking federal investigations into alleged NBA betting scandals, where Beasley's career looked like it was teetering on the edge of collapse, something unexpected just landed in our laps. Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. Because today, we're unloading insider info that could legitimately flip the Lakers' off-season script on its head. That's right, Malik Beasley, who lit up the league with a solid 16.3 points per game and a sizzling 41.6% from beyond the arc last season, is reportedly back in the gold and purple. The Lakers, after dismissing any real chance earlier this summer, have apparently recalibrated. Sources close to the front office suggest that the window for Beasley's return quietly swung open. Think about that for a second. A player once shadowed by federal probes is now suddenly stepping back onto the Lakers' floor, and fans everywhere are asking, what just changed under the hood? Yet, here's the twist: amidst a Western Conference that's reshaping faster than ever, with the Pistons and other young guns hunting perimeter scores, the Lakers, renowned for their careful, deliberate roster moves since the glory days of Showtime through Shaq and Kobe's dynasty, Pau Gasol's masterful runs, all the way to the 2020 bubble championship, are reportedly betting not just on his offensive firepower, but also on redemption. It's as if the Lakers front office is marrying risk with opportunity in a way we haven't seen since the days they pivoted from the post-Kobe rebuild into the LeBron AD chase. Now, can you imagine the chemistry on the floor? Beasley's long-range stroke paired with the sheer presence of LeBron, the defensive tenacity of Anthony Davis, and the emerging talents of Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. It's the kind of lineup that could keep defenses stretching thin, and suddenly, a team, long criticized for inconsistent shooting beyond the arc, is stacking shooters around Luka Doncic, the new face of the franchise and an MVP favorite. Speaking of Doncic, the Slovenian star's off-season body transformation didn't just turn heads. It shifted conversations about what the Lakers can achieve this season. ESPN's Ramona Shelban noted how voters took notice of his leaner, more athletic frame, placing him firmly as the second favorite for MVP behind Nikola Jokic. That's huge because the Lakers aren't just dreaming of playoff appearances. They're aiming for dominance in the West, where the bar keeps rising and the margin for error shrinks by the game. But here's the detail no one's talking about. The Lakers' decision to circle back on Beasley didn't happen in isolation. It echoes a larger pattern within the organization's current build, a blend of veteran savvy and youthful explosiveness. From Dennis Schrader's two-way hustle and D'Angelo Russell's scoring bursts to Gabe Vincent's ball movement and Mickey Mitchell's defense, this roster is a cocktail of talent needing just the right splash of lethal shooting to rise above the pack. And let's be honest, do teams still believe in bouts and mid-season shakeups to target shooters? Or are they betting on chemistry and long-term balance as the real trajectory for title hunts? With off-season rumors swirling, trade talks around stars like Russell Westbrook's buyout and the relentless chase for front-court depth, the Lakers' re-signing of Beasley, seemingly out of left field if you ask the skeptics, has the unmistakable fingerprints of a franchise ready to shake up narratives. Yet the question remains, are the Lakers truly ready to embrace Beasley's baggage? After all, the landscape is sensitive, with past missteps reminding everyone that team culture can be fragile. Considering the contrasting stances from insiders, Jovan Buha, for example, argued the chances of Beasley returning were slim to none earlier. Could this pivot signal a last-minute strategy shift by the front office as they finalize their 2-5-6 blueprint, Or is it just a calculated audition, a trial run to see if Beasley fits the evolving star-driven equation around Doncic and the purple-red sunrise of LeBron's twilight seasons? The Lakers' history itself is a patchwork of bold gambles and seismic impact signings. Recall the Pau Gasol edition that transformed the championship window, or that fateful 2020 bubble campaign where trust and teamwork and resilience culminated in glory. Those moments were defining because they weren't just about talent acquisition, they signaled identity. So, as Malik Beasley reportedly dons the Lakers jersey once again, we have to ask, is this the start of a new era of redemption and sharpshooting? Or is it a stopgap, a momentary blaze of hope before the next big shakeup? The Western Conference gauntlet is brutal, stacked with stars and squads hungry for supremacy. The Lakers are threading the needle between risk and ambition, legacy and reinvention. As a lifelong Lakers believer, I can't help but feel we're on the edge of something massive, the kind of move that history books either celebrate or question. But is this the move that launches a new Lakers era, or the gamble that haunts us for years? Remember, while this news about Beasley's return has everyone buzzing, it's still wrapped in the fog of speculation until the ink dries and the whistle blows on next season's first game. So, drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand, because if there's one thing every Lakers fan knows, it's that hope and heartbreak come in bunches, and nothing is ever truly settled until those final buzzer beaters ring out in Staples Center. Outrage is boiling over in the purple and gold kingdom. Can the Lakers front office really believe that tinkering with the core now will spark playoff magic? Or is this just a desperate band-aid on a season spiraling out of control? Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next moves aren't just about wins and losses. They might rewrite the very DNA of this franchise. LeBron's ice-cold stare from the bench wasn't just frustration. It was a damn warning shot. How long before the tension cracks open the locker room? And AD, does he double down on chemistry with LeBron? Or does this roster shakeup edge him toward a fractured alliance, risking the fragile balance that's kept them scraping through the Western Conference maelstrom? The clock is ticking faster than ever, with Kyrie rumors swirling like a summer storm, front office whispers about trading young assets only fueling the wildfire. What if this gamble backfires right before the playoffs, and the Lakers find themselves exposed, a team undone by its own desperation rather than battle-hardened grit? Remember the 2010s rebuild, the hangover from Kobe's last shots, the fantasy of dominance slipping through fingers. Could history be cruelly repeating itself in slow motion? But here's the part nobody's talking about. What if this roster shuffling in just about playoff seeding? What if the Lakers are positioning for a seismic 2025 free agency explosion, clearing cap space at the cost of today's chemistry? Suddenly, the stars and stripes in purple and gold mean more than a championship run. It's a high-stakes chess match with LeBron's dynasty clock ticking down and AD's loyalty hanging by a thread. Meanwhile, the Western Conference is a powder keg. The Suns' firepower grows daily, the Warriors are scratching at redemption's door, and the Nuggets are quietly bulldozing through with that unheralded grit that makes rivals nervous. The Lakers' rotation shifts speak volumes. Are the bench players stepping up, or shielding the starters from a heated internal battle only insiders know? Old rivalries rekindle with a venom that should scare anyone watching, because these aren't just regular season games. They are battles for respect, for identity, for survival. In this cauldron, the question isn't will the Lakers make the playoffs? It's, will they enter as a united force or a fractured shell primed for an early, embarrassing exit? LeBron's veteran instincts are screaming for stability, but these front office decisions feel like shooting arrows in the dark, looking for a magic trade or miracle fit that might never come. And while every fan's heartbeat pounds with hope for another Showtime slam dunk, the shadows of painful rebuild past loom large, whispering of fractured dynasties that never quite recovered. As a Lakers fan, I can feel the weight of history pressing on this very moment. But are we watching the rebirth of a dynasty, or the fracture that ends it all? Let's talk basketball, not just buzz. When you tinker in March and April, you don't merely adjust faces, you rewrite the playbook under playoff stress. New guards mean new timing on the LeBron AD to man game. Different wings change the calculus on weak side tags and nail help. A stretch big alters the spacing that lets AD live in the dunker spot or at the elbow. Every micro tweak ripples. A new ball handler shifts pace by 2 possessions per game. A different corner shooter changes the angle of LeBron's skip pass. A fresh point of attack defender moves your big's drop depth a step higher or lower. That's not cosmetic, that's identity surgery. If the front office chases a name who needs touches, the ripple may steal usage from actions that already work. If they chase a microwave scorer who can't defend, the ripple shows up when Denver runs empty corner to man and you've got no stopper on the island. We've lived the volatility. Remember the panic rewires that look shiny on paper and confused on hardwood? The league is a graveyard of midseason gambles that cost pace, rhythm, and trust. Continuity is a weapon in May. Veterans hit the pocket with their eyes closed. Roll. Players cut on a glance. Shooters set their feet before the pass arrives. Shake that snow globe now and you risk paying a chemistry tax just when series turn onto possessions. But yes, there's a flip side. Keep standing pat while the West arms up and you risk LeBron logging hero minutes against fresh legs. The line is razor thin. One move too many and you're brittle. One move too few and you're outgunned. Zoom in on the core. LeBron at this stage is an algorithm. Give him shooting, vertical gravity, and one connective guard who can trigger the secondary action, and he'll map the defense like GPS. AD is a force of nature, but he's at his best when the floor is organized around his timing, not when he's bailing water for 3 new teammates learning help rules on the fly. You want windows. Start with non-negotiables. Keep to elite defenders on the floor with AD at all times. Protect the paint with early nail help. Punish switches by screening for LeBron until you force a rotation and then spray. That is not splashy. It's surgical. Does the rumored chase align with that? Or are we swapping plus defenders for net neutral names because the headline feels safer than the matchup? Now consider the bench. Second units decide playoff series more than fans admit. If you flip to rotation pieces, the bench ecosystem collapses until a new pecking order forms. Who handles the get us to the timeout possessions when LeBron sits? Who calls the 51 inches empty corner PNR after a broken play? Who's the adult in the room when the whistle goes sideways on the road and you need a calm touch? If the answer is we'll see, then you're not reloading, you're rolling dice. And dice don't beat disciplined teams for times. In 7. The Curie whispers hover like heat lightning. The idea is intoxicating. Shot creation, late clock sorcery, gravity that bends a series, but fit matters more than fantasy. Are we prepared to rip up defensive principles to accommodate a star who demands usage and brings an off-ball calculus we've struggled to optimize historically? Or is the smarter path a lower usage connector, a guard who hits above the break, threes, screens small too small, and guards the point of attack so AD can live in his preferred coverages? That's not a headline, that's a trophy blueprint. There's also the cold math of tomorrow. If all of this maneuvering is a prelude to a 2025 splash, great. Cap flexibility is a real asset. But banners are not built on maybe next July. You owe your stars a runway now, not just a runway later. If the plan is to thread the needle, compete today and prep for tomorrow, then the acquisitions must be modular, contracts you can stack, players who scale up or down without detonating schemes, wings who can survive in multiple coverages and still hit 38% on catch and shoot. That's the architecture that lets you pivot in June without punting April. Meanwhile, the conference refuses to wait. Phoenix layers a fence like lasagna. Golden State is daring you to believe they're finished so they can slip a knife between schemes. Denver weaponizes boredom. They run the same perfect thing until you crack. Against that, gimmicks and brand names won't save you. What saves you is clarity. A top 10 defense with clean rules. A top 15 offense that becomes top 5 when LeBron and AD share. Lineups that win the minutes of pain when both sit by 0.5 points per 100, and an endgame menu tighter than a drum. To sets you can't guard, to counters you can't scout, to ATOs you haven't seen on film. So where does that leave us? Heartbeats, pounding under the rafters, right here, at the crossroads where fear sells and discipline wins. You can swing big, but swing smart. You can protect the future, but not at the cost of the present's belief. The worst outcome and missing on a trade. It's shattering the trust that makes role players play above their pay grade and stars sacrifice without resentment. If the room stops believing the plan serves the team and not the press release, the season is cooked regardless of talent. And, now my personal take. No hedging. As a Lakers lifer, I'd resist the shiny panic button. Keep LeBron AD as the sun and build gravity around them, not noise. Add a low-maintenance connector guard and one switchable 3-and-D wing, even if the names don't trend. Protect a first unless the incoming player answers a playoff-proof question on both ends. Lean into LeBron AD pick and roll volume. Simplify the late-game menu. And hard-cap the rotation at 9 so roles calcify before the bracket. If a true third star who fits becomes available at a sane price, fine. Otherwise, bet on continuity, defense, and shot quality. I believe this group, properly tuned, can punch above its seed. I do not believe another midseason identity swap will conjure chemistry on demand. Keep the core, fortify the edges, and let our stars decide the rest. That's my call, and I'll own it in the comments. Ride or die, because purple and gold isn't a rumor mill to me, it's a vow.